Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. The relationship between Jonathan Kuminga and coach Steve Kerr is getting worse every day. Kuminga hasn't made the leap to stardom yet, but he's had few opportunities to show that he can help the Warriors. Kuminga has already decided that he's not going to stay with the Warriors anymore and could be traded to the San Antonio Spurs. Steve Kerr has blocked Kuminga and could leave him out of the playoffs if the Warriors make it past the play-in. The Golden State Warriors' recent 124-119 overtime defeat at the hands of the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday pushed the team to the number 7 seed in the Western Conference, setting up a contentious play-in tournament matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday night. Notably, the Warriors' number 7 overall pick in the 2021 NBA draft and rising star forward Jonathan Kuminga was missing from head coach Steve Kerr's rotation against Los Angeles despite being listed as active, making the 22-year-old status as an impending restricted free agent a daunting one for the franchise. After averaging 15.3 points and 4.6 rebounds in his fourth NBA season, the athletic former lottery pick will be due for a payday. But recent reports indicate that Golden State may begin to envision life without Kuminga in the coming months after Kerr's decision to leave him out of the lineup. Jonathan Kuminga was a DNP in the Warriors' must-win finale to avoid the play-in, Forbes' Evan Sidery shared via Twitter/X on Monday morning. An upcoming restricted free agent, Kuminga's future in Golden State appears murky at best. If the Warriors' general manager Mike Dunleavy opts to scour the offseason trade market to receive value in the case of a Kuminga departure, the team could contact the San Antonio Spurs with a plan to acquire their fellow fourth-year scoring guard Devin Vassell in a massive sign-and-trade deal. Though this hypothetical scenario may remain an overly ambitious one for Golden State's front office, both the Warriors and Spurs could have real motivations for agreeing to a trade of this nature. From the Spurs' perspective, they could land an improving two-way forward that has shown immense potential on the defensive side of the ball, as Kuminga boasted a solid 112 defensive rating per 100 possessions in 47 appearances this season. For the Warriors, the premise of partnering Vassell and four-time NBA champion Stephen Curry in the same backcourt could be a tempting one, as the former's career 36.9% shooting clip from distance on 5.5 attempts may be ideal for spacing purposes. In Kerr's free-flowing offensive system, a volume three-point shooter and sound all-around scoring threat like Vassell might be the preferred option to assist Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green in capturing an NBA title. Golden State would also bring in the promising 24-year-old as he enters the second season of a 5-year, $135 million extension he signed with San Antonio in 2024 that runs through the 2028-29 season, securing the long-range threat for what could be the prime years of his career. Steve Kerr reveals details about crucial Jonathan Kuminga decision before postseason. One of the biggest storylines from the Golden State Warriors' disappointing 124-119 overtime loss to the Los Angeles Clippers was the status of Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors forward did not see the court at all in a very tight defeat. Kuminga did miss a lot of time this season due to injury, but when the opportunity was there, the athletic forward has provided a scoring punch off the bench. Kuminga has averaged 15.3 points per game off the bench in the 2024-25 NBA season. The former first-round pick in the 2021 NBA draft has also chipped in 4.6 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 0.8 steals per game. The decision to not include someone who has averaged 24.3 minutes per game in 2024-25 was always bound to raise some questions. The media was all over Steve Kerr after the game to ask what happened and what the role of the young forward will be moving forward. "We've just found a group since Jimmy Butler got here that we're pretty comfortable with," Kerr told the media following the loss. "Gueye Santos didn't play either. Gueye's been our highest plus-minus guy over the last 2 months. Both he and JK have been really impactful players for us, and doesn't mean they're out of the loop going forward." Kerr continued, "It's just, this is how this game played out. I just told him in the walkthrough that we were gonna change the rotation. I didn't tell him he wasn't gonna play because I wasn't sure if he was gonna play or not, but I told him that we were gonna not go to the usual rotation in the first quarter and then go from there." Related, Stephen Curry sends clear Jonathan Kuminga message after DNP based off Kerr's words. It sounds like Kuminga will still have an opportunity to prove himself as a go-to-bench piece, depending on the matchup. The 22-year-old will have to bide his time. Warriors' persistent Jonathan Kuminga problem shows they fumbled trade opportunity. This looks like it's coming to an end. While the Golden State Warriors suffered a heartbreaking 124-119 loss to the LA Clippers that has pushed them to the play-in tournament, it may be someone who didn't play on Sunday that emerged as the biggest talking point. After struggling to reintegrate to a new-look Warrior team following a long-term ankle injury, Jonathan Kuminga was stunningly left out of the rotation by Steve Kerr for the pivotal regular season finale. The Warriors have fumbled a huge Jonathan Kuminga trade opportunity. The DNP may not be a major shock in itself given Kerr's recent comments to the media in which he claimed Kuminga, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green couldn't play together, while also admitting his team was in a better place a few weeks ago, seemingly referring to a period prior to Kuminga's reintroduction from a 31-game absence. However, the fact Kuminga is getting DNP'd at the end of his fourth year, and at a time where he's about to hit restricted free agency in the offseason, certainly makes for a bizarre set of circumstances. Whether you believe this is a Kuminga problem or a Kerr one, there's little doubt the franchise has fumbled this situation and has missed out on a potentially season-altering acquisition in the process. Jonathan Kuminga getting shots up after receiving a DNP and loss to Clippers. pic.twitter.com/0fw3tq0zvi. 95.7 the game, at 9:57 the game, April 13, 2025. How many times could Kuminga have been traded over the years for something of real value, only for Golden State to have retained faith in the young forward's future potential? Where has that got them now? To a point where Kerr won't even play Kuminga at the end of his fourth year. While it's not easy to pinpoint one specific Kuminga trade situation, it's not hard to envisage one of a host of difference-making players having been utilized by Kerr on Sunday. The Warriors could have done with a Cam Johnson rather than Gary Payton II in the closing lineup, or had more of an interior presence with a legitimate center like Miles Turner. Again, it's not as simple as replacing Kuminga with Johnson, Turner, or anyone else, but the fact remains that Golden State left their former 7th overall pick to rot on the bench in a near must-win game to secure a playoff spot. So what about the future potential? Ex-NBA player reveals what Draymond Green will do with Jimmy Butler on Warriors. The NBA regular season is officially in the books. It was a season of peaks and valleys for the Golden State Warriors. They started the year red-hot, taking control of the number 1 seed in the Western Conference through the season's first month. Some thought we were looking at another Warriors team that would pace the field as we've seen them do. Instead, things took a turn for the worse, as they found themselves as the number 12 seed at 19-20. What Draymond Green will do with Jimmy Butler? Desperate to right the ship, the Warriors needed to make a move and fast. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. made the deal to send Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson to the Miami Heat in exchange for Jimmy Butler. From there, the Warriors took off. With Butler in the lineup, they were 17-2 in their first 19 games with the 6-time All-Star. Not only did Butler help the Warriors offensively, but he toughened them up defensively. Draymond Green was one player who benefited from his defense. He proved to be the defensive catalyst we've seen in years past. According to former NBA player Chandler Parsons, Green will take home the Defensive Player of the Year award because of Butler's help. Draymond Green is gonna win Defensive Player of the Year because Jimmy Butler went to Golden State, said Parsons. Victor Wembanyama was running away with the award before being diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder that caused him to miss the rest of the season. That meant he wouldn't be eligible for any awards or All-NBA team consideration. At the time of the injury, Green was plus 8,000 to win the award. On March 5, he was still plus 800. By April 8, he was minus 450, an 81.8% implied probability. They quickly catapulted up the standings and were tied for the number 4 seed in the West on April 8. Unfortunately for the Warriors, they dropped 2 of their next 3 games and will now be forced to participate in the NBA play-in tournament. They host the Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time.